Fala galera, beleza com vocês? Fernando Rodrigo aqui na área novamente, trazendo mais uma gameplay de Sherlock Holmes chapterone. E vamos entrar aqui na mansão, que o Verde falou que deixou algo para nós aqui. Vamos ver do que se trata.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Esteva, happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
Ah, o irmão dele tá indo pra cidade aí. Estou ocupado. Bem, estou ouvindo.
Mr. Esteva.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
Status quo? Que é isso?
What about the status quo?
The Ottoman population holds a certain animosity towards the colonial rule. It's been this way since we took over the island. General Ridley made concessions with their leaders, but I'm afraid we are still teetering on the edge of open hostility.
What does Mycroft want me to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There is a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
Ok. Novo caso, Amor, Morte e Codorna. Ah, o elefante tá aqui. Quer dizer, o elefante de mentira.
I imagine Goliath was surprised to find out his lady was not real.
Ô louco. Uma sereia? Ou sereio?
Bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here?
Ah,
Get
irmão
out
dele?
of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental. Because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Ô louco. Que estranho, o cara veio pedir pra gente fazer uma missão, mas que o irmão dele tava chegando na cidade, mas o irmão dele já tá aqui. Alguma coisa não bate. Joe me desafiou a encontrar um item escondido no quarto. Alguém visitou o número, o relógio da minha mãe. A lamparina foi recentemente, o homem de sapatos.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall.
Mulher, cauda de peixe
There's a
misteriosa.
giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible, it must have been something else.
Esqueleto
Of
ressecado,
course,
rocha.
that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
Membro da família é
It's my
mulher.
mother.
É a mãe dele.
She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
Ferramenta, lente, observação.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons.
A
The
sereia era
mermaid was a
falsa.
fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us.
Pessoa, vozes altas,
The
operário.
workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
Liberou aqui, galera.
Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
É, faz sentido.
Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King
Rei
Arthur.
Arthur.
Scarcely believable. He also insisted a
Oh,
deadly
look.
rabbit was hunting him.
Coelho mortal perseguia.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace D. Oram.
Oh, Mycroft. You always act so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Nossa, velho, que bicho picareta, velho. Aconchegante,
I remember
cobertor.
this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
Ah, tá, eles faziam uma cabaninha aqui.
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons. So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand. Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido.
Placido. Prezado Sr. Holmes, por favor, aceite minhas profundas gratidão por sua recente ajuda com essa questão pessoal. Estremeço ao pensar o que poderia ter acontecido se não fosse por seu olhar aguçado e aguçados. Não entendi. Fique tranquilo. Caso nossos caminhos se cruzem novamente, você será saudado por um amigo agradecido. Sua Excelência, o juiz McDougall. Ok.
Carefully opened. Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April, 1869.
Senhor Mycroft Holmes, a Câmara Municipal de Cordona escreve para informar que o julgamento do Dr. Otto Rich pela morte de senhorita Violet Holmes foi atribuído a Sua Excelência o juiz McDougall. Sua solicitação para uma audiência fechada foi concedida. Esteja informado de que a promotoria o convoca como testemunha principal no julgamento do Dr. Richard. Você deve se apresentar no Tribunal Criminal de Cordona nas datas listadas no verso. 28 de alguma coisa.
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
Vamos seguir. Oxe, como é que volta logo essa? Ah, tá. Um homem em uniforme.
He opened the door to the postman and they exchanged documents. If it was a real postman, of course.
Paisagem torta.
The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened.
Levemente torta. O bagulho tá totalmente torto. Registro do fogo crepitante. Crepitante? Palavra
Then he
estranha.
threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
Acho que aqui é a chave, né?
I think this is what we're looking for.
Ah, uma minúscula chave. Vamos lá então, vou voltar.
We made it.
Ah, legal.
So what's there?
Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favorite.
Favorito de Mycroft.
Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
Meia garrafa de whisky de puro malte, a bebida favorita de Mycroft. Nós a encontramos trancada na gaveta da escrivaninha do gabinete de curiosidade. Entre uma pilha de documentos importantes. Surpreendentemente, parece que o whisky foi um presente da de Sua Majestade em pessoa, a Rainha Vitória.
Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Otto Richter, 45 anos, nascido em uma família respeitada em Berna, Suíça, solteiro, sem herdeiros, médico formado pela Universidade de Genebra, Suíça. A formatura foi adiada por um ano devido a um pequeno escândalo em um de seus estágios. Pais falecidos de cólera em 1863. A família restante é composta somente por um meio-irmão, Klaus, de 35 anos. O atual paredeiro de Klaus Richter é desconhecida, tendo sido visto pela última vez em Cordorna.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
Beleza.
This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake. 1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire.
Não conheço essa pessoa.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
Oxe, ele não acha estranho o negócio tá quebrado, mano?
The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man. And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings.
Baboseira.
Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets.
Senhorita Holmes é uma paciente de considerável interesse e objeto ideal de teste para explorar algumas das minhas teorias. Tentarei repetidamente imergi-la na situação traumática que precipitou sua doença mental. Acredito que reviver aquele momento possa dar à sua mente a chance de acolher o ocorrido, aceitá-lo e enfigurar-se. Estou confiante da minha hipótese e só preciso prová-la. Além disso, é uma sorte estar perto da família Holmes. Talvez eu consiga examinar também a hereditariedade dos traços psicológicos, sejam eles competenciais ou distúrbios. Já está claro que todos os membros da família partilham de uma inteligência incomum e elevada. Parece que a condição da mãe começou a afetar a mente do filho mais novo, Sherlock, embora não possa conduzir um exame médico adequado devido à projeção do filho mais velho. Parece que o menino sofre de alucinações constantes na forma de um amigo imaginário, John. Tô louco. Meu querido irmão, ouvi dizer que você chegou recentemente a Cordorna. Veio me ver? Sinto falta de nossas conversas noturnas, mesmo que nunca tenhamos concordado em nossas opiniões. Cordorna é ao lado de uma nova galeria de arte impressionante, que visito todas as quintas-feiras. Encontre-me lá e não procure por Klaus. Deixei esse nome para trás. Carta do irmão Otto. Um diploma rasgado encontrado no gabinete de curiosidades. Alguém deliberadamente o fez em pedaços. Remutando e traduzido, o diploma diz: Em nome do Conselho da Universidade de Genebra, Suíça, nós, reitores da universidade, observando que o Sr. Walter Rich foi submetido aos testes exigidos pela lei e regulamentos, conferimos-lhe o grau de doutor em medicina com os direitos e prerrogativas assim vinculados.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that.
Quem será que fez isso?
The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject. The full plate armour of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something. Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
E agora, o que eu faço? Após examinar o gabinete, de curiosidade, comecei a me lembrar de algo da minha infância. Ah, uma escada. Escada velha.
I
Última.
used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
Grande
Heard a noise.
artefato.
I can't recall of exactly what, and we didn't have a great view from behind the statue.
Livros de Otto, posição.
Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
E agora, o que a gente faz aqui?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Concentrate.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait, Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them.
Tudo aconteceu logo após o acidente do quarto de Violet em 9 de abril. Sherry decidiu brincar com os artefatos do gabinete de curiosidade e é claro que eu fui com ele. Como resultado, nós tornamos testemunhas não intencionais de uma discussão entre Mycroft e Dr. Richard. O irmão de Sherlock, estava furioso. Ele tinha certeza de que Dr. Richard fizera algo duvidoso com a mãe deles, né? O tiro saiu pela culatra. Ele chamou Otto de charlatão.
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
Onde foi o barulho?
Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
Louco. Caro Sr. Holmes, eu o aguardo na mansão do Kurt Manskiewicz, em Turquoise LN, em frente à Cordona eBay, ao norte do Grand Sarai. Venha imediatamente. Se for inconveniente, venha mesmo assim. Seu eterno amigo Vivi. PS, estou lhe enviando a roupa apropriada para esse lugar, a fim de evitar complicações desnecessárias. Espero que sirva.
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
Ao norte de Grand Sarai. Vamos lá. Ah, Cordeiro não veio, fica aqui. Vernon me convida à mansão Kurt Manskiewicz, localizada na Turquoise. Acho que esse Turquoise é uma rua, né, mano? É, ó. E a mansão deve ser essa aqui. Mini Mage, sei lá o que tá escrito. Ah, a gente tem que usar a roupa, né? Pera aí. Guarda-roupa. Nossa, que roupa estranha, cara. Poxa, tem uma capa, velho. Será que é por cima que a gente entra? Provavelmente, né? É, tá aberto.
Welcome to the Mansius Mansion.
É, aqui. Nossa, que lugar sinistro.
Help me, please. Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
I'm not sure I know. Ah, tinha uma outra entrada aqui. Eu tenho que pôr uma máscara, sei lá.
I'm so sorry, but this is a costume party.
Mano, que bagulho sinistro, mano.
Can I ask you a question? I have nothing to hide, sir, but I've never heard of this.
Nossa, aqui é um Ctrl+C bem... Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V danado.
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
Cara, essa festa tá com cara de que vai ser sinistra.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Oxe, até o pianista tem uma faixa nos olhos, velho. Que festa estranha. Opa! O YouTube vai cortar meu vídeo. Nossa, negócio que sinistro, velho.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Esse idioma é barato. Caraca, tem de gente, mano.
Ah, I know the perfect girl for you.
I guarantee we'll have a good time.
You have such pretty hands. What can you do with them?
Rapaz.
Do not distract me. It's not easy to play blindfold.
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Gahor, is it a guess?
Mano, o que eu faço aqui, velho?
I need a rest from my insatiable wife.
Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower?
Curtains do not guarantee privacy.
And you
I'm
still need
coming,
a
Sherry.
despite being
Just
ethereal.
give me another second.
Mano, que festa medonha, velho.
You know what was here before Manchio's family bought it.
Descubra a história da mansão. Iniciar. Lar ancestral? Ruínas? Não. Círculo mágico? Vinho caro? Fraude? Beleza, círculo mágico.
You know what was here before Manchio's.
Fraude. Leilão? Círculo. Sim. Vinho caro? Não. Ruínas? Não. Desaparecimento misterioso? Lar ancestral? Não. Beleza. Antes da família Macius, a mansão era a propriedade de um arquiteto ocultista. Ele dedicou sua vida a conduzir um poderoso ritual do tomo esquecido. Mas os ciclos mágicos comuns se mostraram fracos demais. Fraco demais esse propósito. Foi por isso que ele construiu esta mansão. Um observador atento pode perceber que suas formas correspondem a certos símbolos mágicos, e algumas paredes têm cavidades. Um dia o arquiteto simplesmente desapareceu. Uma mancha de cinzas no chão foi tudo o que restou. Talvez ele tenha tido sucesso em seu empreendimento.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base hedonists.
Honey, you feeling lonely? I'll be your friend.
Nancho's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Descubra o escândalo da divulgação da identidade. Feio demais sem máscara, pobre demais para o ambiente, crise política, alguém estava doente, novo traidor, padre não convidado, perdeu a aposta, demitido após incidente. Nada a ver, cara. Não encontrei nada que fazia sentido.
Nancho's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Que escândalo. Alguém estava doente, perdeu a aposta, demitido após incidente, padre não convidado, feio demais sem máscara, crise política, duquesa ofendida, novo traidor. Opa. Ué, deu errado?
Nancho's had to
Deu
enforce.
errado. Descubra o escândalo. Ok. Alguém estava doente? Não. Pobre demais para o ambiente? Também não. Crise política, demitido após incidente, perdeu a aposta, feio demais, novo traidor, padre não convidado, duquesa ofendida. Crise política. Isso aqui é difícil, hein?
Nancho's had to enforce.
Perdeu a aposta? Não. Alguém estava doente? Não. Demitido após incidente, duquesa ofendida, padre não convidado, feio demais, crise política. Não. Caraca, é muita opção, velho. Não consigo decorar.
Nancho's had to enforce.
Pobre demais não, feio demais também não, duquesa ofendida, alguém estava doente não, padre não convidado, demitido após incidente, perdeu a aposta, crise política, novo traidor. Ok. Pessoas descrevem um escândalo de uma festa anterior. O vice-governador Caudel foi encontrado por sua futura esposa, uma duquesa prusiana, na companhia de rapazes. Embora o casamento fosse político, as emoções da duquesa não eram verdadeiras. O incidente instigou uma crise política entre Cordona e Prússia. Embora houvesse apenas algumas notas de protesto, o governador demitiu seu protegido.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Imprensa amarela, desafio vencido. Legal. E agora, mas o que eu realmente faço? Opa!
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. A time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual, a potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
Isso não faria sentido e isso seria imprudente.
My mind is my most valuable asset and a finely tuned instrument. I will not risk impeding its function. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
Não vou precisar.
I am perfectly capable of coping with myself without medical assistance.
Then I shall press you on it no further. But please do not refuse my gift. Take it with you as a souvenir of this special night.
Souvenir of what, exactly? But, all right, if only to put the matter to bed.
And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute. Let Fabio speak for himself.
Ah, que cara louco.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends. These medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the occult ones. Romantic poetry and prose. Someone's in touch with their feelings.
Eu acho que eu entrei daqui, né? É, eu vim daqui. Beleza. Oxi!
My God. Was he here this whole time?
Que bagulho louco, mano. Duas evidências atualizadas. A tatuagem cobre uma
This
marca
tattoo partially covers a slave
de
branding.
escravo.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here. The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
Mano, que lugar sinistro, velho.
The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
Poxa, o cara tá aqui, mano.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Manchas
An
de
open
sangue.
wound spoiled the carpet. Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened. Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Marca de mão
Identical
molhada.
to the robes the guests are wearing. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
Que sinistro, mano.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Bagulho bizarro, velho.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Banchos.
Chave. Tem uma chave aqui.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Que loucura, mano.
The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly.
faltando alguma coisa, mano.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner.
Sobre noite como
What
essas.
is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere. Often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio, and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh. Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were...
Filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh, yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer, too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good
This is a different ritual.
Encontrei o cenário de algum tipo de ritual com uma observação escrita no início. Diz: leia e ensaie este rito. Make-us. A mulher nua jaz no altar sobre uma cama de flores, simbolizando a mãe Gaia, aquele que conduz o ritual. Oleia o corpo da mulher para despertar sua fidelidade interior. Os participantes devem cantar nesse momento e chamar pelo homem que pode satisfazer a mãe Gaia. Então o homem que personificará o príncipe da vida pode vir e se envolver em união sexual com ela. Que horrível. Não ignore os convidados, Matista, e pare de aborrecê-los. Eles não querem ouvir sobre suas coisas estúpidas, eles querem sentir o quanto são belos e como você pode lhes ser generosa. Você está aqui para agradar e celebrar a vida. Lembre-se disso, cada convidado pagou muito para estar com você.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
Negócio tosco, mano.
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Perhaps. Vamos tentar deduzir o que aconteceu aqui. Alguém trancou. Não foi uma facada, não, foi uma garrafada. Isso. Eram 2 pessoas. A mão dela não poderia, da pessoa não poderia estar com sangue. Então é bem provável que seja essa aqui. Qual a diferença das duas? Vamos ver se a gente acertou.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry.
Concentrate. Acho que aqui tá certo, mano. Faz mais sentido, né, meu? Acho que aqui deve ter errado.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Calma aí, cara. Calma aí.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Vamos lá, Palácio Mental. Fábio foi assassinado em um ritual. Fábio foi sacrificado em um altar durante um ritual de ocultismo. Fábio foi assassinado em um ritual. O ritual foi uma forma de cobertura. O ritual foi concebido como uma forma em cobrir o motivo do assassino. O assassino tinha uma chave para a sala. O assassino estava de posse da chave que abria a sala do altar.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all. The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry. I know you can untangle this mess.
Ele consegue tirar a máscara? Quem é o cara? Tem uma máscara.
I need a rest from my insatiable wife.
I'm so excited about the event.
Kurt Manchios, I presume? I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Quem tinha acesso ao altar?
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on?
Ô, louco.
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Ô, louco. Que doideira. Oxe, os policiais metendo tiro, velho. Aceitando um cacetete, olha. Eita lasqueira. Olha os policiais, velho. Caraca, mano. Os policiais, doideira. Nossa, vou tá levar uma cacetada na nuca. Oxe, o policial tá sentado ali. Ah, o Sherlock foi preso.
History.
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we had Vogel in his letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
Você conheceu minha mãe?
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
Why? Talvez nós possamos negociar. Você precisa me ajudar.
Perhaps we can negotiate. I could be quite useful.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
Beleza.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
Pessoal, vou ficar com essa gameplay por aqui. Espero que vocês tenham curtido. Agradeço a presença, o like, os comentários. E é nóis, valeu, fui!